All right. Well, welcome to our Echo Network meeting. It is slim pickings today with Eva and I here. We're hoping that everybody's out enjoying this beautiful snowfall that we have here across the Indiana landscape, but we decided we'll still get on just the two of us and get this recorded, so hopefully some more folks can see it a little bit later. And for us to get started, we'll just do a little bit of introduction. So my name is Caitlin Sproles. I'm the Director of Education and Outreach here at Mary Lee Environmental Learning Center. And Eva, the fun question that I have for us both to answer is what is our favorite snowy day activity? So I know for myself and my family, yesterday my son made like a giant snowman that was like double his height. We obviously helped him with that, but he thought it was so much fun to have a snowman that was double his height. So I'll
Mm,
let you kind of introduce yourself a little bit then.
sure. Hi, my name's Eva, and I'm an environmental educator or the environmental educator at Fox Island County Park. And my favorite snowy day activity slash tradition, which we didn't do it because we woke up to snow and then had to go to work, but maybe this evening we can try. Our family likes to make hot chocolate and then go for a walk and drink hot chocolate while we're enjoying the fresh snow. So we'll see if
Ooh,
we get around to it today.
that sounds nice. Yeah, it's definitely going to cool down once that sun goes down. So sounds like a fun evening. So. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Eva, and we have your screen shared here, and so I'll kind of let you take it from here. So we're excited to have you.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having me. And first of all, I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. This is my family, and my husband and I have been married almost 26 years. And well, 25 and a half years. And we have three adult children. And music has always been a part of my life from a young age, and my husband as well. And we have really enjoyed music with our kids, going and listening to it, making it together, singing together, and that sort of a thing. Like I said earlier, I work at Fox Island County Park, and that's in southwest Allen County. Um, the park has lots of different types of ecosystems, wetlands. It has a sand dune, it has forests, it has um, prairies and a lake and lots of trails. Um, so yeah, it's pretty good with the birding as well. People like to do come and do birding at Fox Island. So, and I've been working at Fox Island for a little over 2 years. So my first time doing a drum circle was in California. I used to live there in Southern California in Pasadena, and I enjoyed it, but it didn't like grab me like I like would happen eventually. It was amazing, and it was exciting to be with a group of people and building off of each other's drumming and rhythms. But it wasn't something that I thought I could do at that point. But then about 4 years ago, I went to a community drum circle at Sweetwater Sound, and they hold it the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. And that it was then that I realized the potential that drumming with people had for teaching environmental education. Um, So that was exciting. And I kept going back, and I kept afterwards finding the facilitator and saying, how do I do what you do? How do I get training? How do I go forward in this? I think I could really use it and do a lot with it in my work. And finally, he got the picture and set me up with some training, like a Saturday training in Indianapolis. And now I also help with the the community drum circle at Sweetwater. I do like one activity Most times I'm trying to cut back a little bit to every other month because it's getting to be a lot, but I enjoy it. And that type of drum circle is a little different than the type of drum circle that I do, but both are super fun. Um, now, there are a lot of benefits of drumming. It encourages listening and cooperation. It's fun to make a memory with other people that you never met before and to be like, wow, we just had that amazing experience together. It fosters appreciation for the contributions of others. It helps you to release stress and anxiety, and it strengthens your focus and your memory. People do drumming with elderly people in nursing homes, and as well as with kids who have special needs and that sort of a thing. It's for everybody. I really believe it's for everybody. So how do you go about um, collecting things? If you have no drums, what can you use? I have a picture of some chopsticks and some medicine bottles. These have um, some marbles inside, so you can use those. You can get two pieces of wood, whether they're spoons or drumsticks or chopsticks, and beat them together. You can use some rocks. They all offer different types of textures, which is a lot of fun. You could even use some bones. I love the sound of bones clacking. It's a fun, clacky sound. So it does, and you also have your hands. Something I really like to point out to people is a lot of times people don't think that they have any rhythm, but we're born with rhythm. We have heartbeats inside of us, and we have musical instruments all over us. We have our hands, we have our feet to stomp, we can pat our laps, we can pat our sides, we can do lots of things to make rhythm with our bodies. So it's not too far off. Sometimes we just have to get in touch with the rhythm. And sometimes life doesn't afford that, but whenever you prioritize it and give it a shot, it's super rewarding. Whenever if you are interested in trying to find some things to make rhythm with, there are people who have lots and lots and lots of medicine bottles, and you can fill them with beans or pebbles or sand or um, rice, or like I did some marbles. And these are really small. If you have a trail bag and you have maybe 12 kids with you, it doesn't take up that much space. It's not too far off. And they're not heavy either, which is helpful. Okay, so how do you teach environmental education through drumming? So, something I love is that communities in nature are made up of different members and each has a different role. And drumming can demonstrate this. So, if you think about one thing in nature, it doesn't tend to exist without touching other things in nature. So, a tree is connected to the soil, is connected to sunlight, is connected to insects, and connected to birds that might nest in it, or mammals that eat the nuts from it, or make homes in it, or something like that. So it's really not hard to connect the two together. Drumming brings different members together, and each has a different role. If I was the only one drumming, that might be fine, but boy, it is so much more enriching when um, not only I am drumming, but I have several others drumming, and we can all play off of each other's rhythms and fill in different spaces with different textures. And it can really be exciting and beautiful. And it's exhilarating to create an impromptu song together. It's just pretty phenomenal. I love it. Um, so, uh, let's see, where am I? So, we're going to think about a nurse log, for example. Okay, oftentimes, I'll just back up a little bit. Whenever people get together, I give them something to warm up with. So if we were to do it, and the topic was going to be a nurse log, which is a fallen log that, as it's decomposing, more life, more plants grow in, around it, on it, and it supplies nutrients to more plant life and lots of insects as well. Um, so I give my participants a phrase to help them get thinking about the topic that we're going to be drumming about and learning together about. And so what I would say is, as an example, is nurse log. That's just two beats. So you go nurse log, pause, pause, nurse log, nurse slug. So, and that almost sounds like a heartbeat, right? So, which is exciting to me because I feel like, nurse logs, and not feel like, I know that nurse logs are something that produces more life. And even though plants don't have heartbeats, they're still alive. And if we're gonna connect to it, we have heartbeats, they're growing life. So that would be one thing. And what we would do is we would start slow and then we get faster and faster. So we go nurse log, 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 and rumble. Okay, so there's that. Then if we're thinking about um, the different members of the nurse log community, it's composed of moss, insects that are decomposers like pill bugs, ants, worms, centipedes, spiders, and also not an insect, but fungi or lichen. Um, and all of these are working together like you have to in a drum circle. They are working together to take apart the log. Um, I like thinking about words, and so composing is a musical term, and decomposing is when something is together and it comes apart. So it's kind of like all the different members of the nurse log are notes that are part of this song almost of the log. And we're spreading it apart and peeling away the different members. And eventually, the nurse log is going to be peeled away too. Anyway, I'll keep going, but I like that sort of a thing. Um, okay, so let's see where I am. So we're going to try it. You and I, Caitlin, are going to try it. I'll give
Yes, I
you.
have my little magnets. I don't know if you can hear
Okay.
them, but
No, I can't. Oh well. Or
that's okay. We can still do
you could
it.
you could clap too if you wanted to. But yeah, for some reason it's not doing it. It's not
Weird.
picking.
Well,
That's
people
really
can, I'll just move them up here so people can
okay.
see.
Yeah. So oftentimes if you're gonna do something like this, you need a 4/4 beat to kind of help you stay in the rhythm. So for this one, and when I was clapping this, could you hear me or no?
No,
Bummer.
that's okay.
Okay,
Backwards is,
so
yeah.
yeah, so the 4/4 would be decomposers, decomposers. And then I would teach about the different members, like the pill bugs. Pill bugs eat dead wood. Pill bugs eat dead wood. Pill bugs eat dead wood. And if we were to add in the spiders, so it would be, I lay my egg sacs in dead wood. I lay my egg sacs in dead wood. I lay my egg sacs in dead wood. Fungi would be fungi. We break down wood. 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 And then moss, I help create new soil. I help create new. It's similar to fungi, because they're both 6 beats. So if you're out in a trail on a hike and you come across a nurse log or something, or a log that can even be rolled, and you can learn about decomposers. And you have your little medicine bottles in in your bag. You can distribute them and say, okay, we're going to talk about, let's first examine the log maybe, and what are you noticing? And then you can have these little phrases for them to remember. If you want them to kind of remember all of the different members, and if you have time, they can start with one phrase. You all go through that one, and then they can trade phrases and that sort of a thing. So it helps, music really helps, at least it helps me to remember things. It really solidifies that information in my mind. So, yeah, let's keep going. So, just like a nurse log, you can take any habitat and think about all the different members that are part of that habitat. If it's a lake habitat, there's fish, there's dragonflies, there's all turtles, there's frogs, and you can think about what they do, how they use and live in that habitat, beavers, and that sort of a thing. Um, and it can kind of help the kid. I think it can definitely help the people who are participating to, as they come back to those different habitats, to remember, oh yeah, and they'll remember the rhythmic phrase or the beat, but they can be like, oh yeah, what were those beats about? Oh yeah, there was the beaver, and it can help them to reflect and remember what they learned about. And again, with the prairie habitat as well, um, that's another option to use. There's the pollinators, the forbs, the grasses, um, the birds that rely on the seeds, the snakes, the mice, the different other mammals um, that are living among all those tall plants. And then also you can even talk about the benefit of all the prairie plants and how deep they go into the soil. So my roots go deep in the soil, just in my roots hold the soil, or my roots hold the soil in place. My roots hold the soil in place, sort of thing. Language is rhythmic, so it can be a lot of fun. Let's see what else we've got here. So just recently, last weekend or 2 weekends ago, it was the first Saturday in November. I did drum circles for Elsie Nature Park for their National Bison Day, and it was a blast. And I was able to help them think about. You can, so like I said, you can do it about communities, but you can also talk about one animal and all the different things that are just amazing and interesting about their behaviors or um, their bodies, or like the type of animal they are, if they're mammals or amphibians or whatever. So I did it on bison, and some of the phrases that we drummed were so the 4-4 would be bison eat plants, bison eat plants. And when I teach, something I love to do, yes, there are lots of things that are different between humans and other living things, but I think in order to build empathy and care about the different things in the living world, to emphasize the things we have in common is really a great way to do that. So I pointed out bison eat plants. Who here eats plants? I eat plants. What types of plants do you eat? And bison also give birth to one calf, and they have a 9 month gestation. So we're pregnant for 9 months too as humans. They can be as tall as 6'5". There are humans who are as tall as 6'5", and they jump 6 feet tall, 6 feet high. We don't jump that tall, but we like to jump, and we can jump and swim and run just like they do, or similar. They live in herds, they're communal, and so are we. Their babies are called red dogs, and we're red whenever we're born too. So some of it's a little funny. And then they show their mood by their tails, their tail action or not action. Swishing means they're calm, and whenever it goes straight up, It's like an alarm. It's kind of like, back off, here's my flag, watch out. Or if they're about to charge, and I talk about what do we do? How do we use our bodies to describe our mood? We might have a sad face or a happy face or something like that. So it's fun to let people think about and help them to think about the things we have in common as well. Even with little things like spiders, I try to do that because some people are just so quick to killing them, just like, ew, slap or ew, stomp, and I'll be like, okay, before we have like a physical reaction to this, they have a heart, they have legs, we have legs, they have eyes, a lot of eyes, but we have eyes too. And they have babies and they have parents. Do we? Yeah, we do. So it's helpful for them, I think. Okay, so you could also use it with bats, um, because sometimes bats get a bad rap, and you could talk about, the things that are important about bats and their really cool skill, things that they can do that we can't do, that we could just be more appreciative of, appreciate. We could appreciate it more. Sorry, weird fumble there. Okay. Um, I thought I had all my little items. It's just right behind me. Let me grab it really quick.
Yeah, you're
So,
good, Eva. While you grab that, I just want to say I love how you can apply this to literally anything you come up with.
yeah, you
Like,
totally can. You
it doesn't
totally
have to be super pre-planned. You can just come up with things on the fly or have the kiddos come up with things. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's super versatile,
yeah.
and it's creative and it uses your body. It isn't just your head. And
Hmm.
that makes learning so much more fun. So
Yeah.
a game that I like to do with kids is it's similar to it's a little bit hide and seek, but it's a lot like the hot and cold game. Like if they're trying to search for something, and you say, "Oh, you're really, really cold," or "You're about to burn up." Well, we do that with drumming, with drumming louder if they're very close, and drumming softer if they are really not close. So, so what I do, and I have a little girl gave this to me, and it is a teeny tiny little duck. I don't know if you can see, but she said, "Would you like a duck?" And I was like, "Sure." So I love it because it's tiny, and these I have like a tiny little beaver, I have a tiny little hummingbird, I have a little fox because I work at Fox Island. I have a little mushroom, and what I do is it could be purely for fun, and you could learn about dynamics in music, or for environmental education, you could have little questions to kind of, it could be an introductory activity to kind of get the kids thinking. So if they wanted to either hide it or find it, they could ask a question about something that they're wondering, um, on the upcoming new subject matter that you're going to be starting. And so I always have them hide it in the circle and not under anything because it can take a long time sometimes because it's small. Um, but they really enjoy hiding it and finding it, and it's playful and it makes the learning fun. You could also think about um, taking different, like, it could be a review even. It could be an introductory thing. It could be a review at the end of the subject. And maybe they could share a fact that they learned from the learning that had happened as a result of whatever the subject was. And they could say a fact and then they could hide it. And then the person who finds it, they could share a fact or something like that. You can make it more educational as you're needing or wanting. Um, so the the thing that I love to do at the end of my drum circles is I like to finish with I wish you guys could hear it. Weirdly, you can't hear it, but I have a buffalo drum and it sounds really good. Unfortunately, you can't hear it, but what I like to do is I have everybody just kind of close their eyes and you can encourage the participants to think about what did they learn about bison or what did they learn about wetlands or what are some things that they want to share with people that they live with. And just have them think about it and enjoy the rhythm of the sound bath over them. So I just drum over them for a little bit. And that's typically how we finish. And something, some things that I wanted to point out really quick are that um, I love bringing out the point of the importance of diversity. So Doug Tallamy says, as the number of species increases, so do ecosystem productivity and stability. And on every level of life, when diversity is high, it's so much healthier and it's so much more productive and stable. And I'll look with my students at a prairie and say, do you see just one type of plant or can you count how many types of plants? Maybe we can't even count all the different types of plants. And I say that's a sign of health. And if there was just one type of animal, um, and that was all that ruled the earth, like that would be so much less enriching than all the variety and same with food or same with music or um, lots of different things. And then I try to, because it's important to me, um, and if there's a group of kids, I'll say, I don't know everything. And if I was the only person who had all the information, that would be a lot more limited than since it's good that that's not the situation because I can learn from you and I can learn from you and all of your experiences are different than mine. And if we share our experiences and share what we know, then that can build empathy and that can draw us closer to each other and it helps us to not be as suspicious or fearful of each other just because we don't aren't the same. So again, like the whole idea of diversity is so important. I'm pretty passionate about that. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I've got for you. And
Yeah,
you're
thank
welcome any
you.
questions.
Thank you, Eva. Yeah, I think like I said earlier, mentioned about this is how versatile it is. And I know when I've been at one of your drum circles, just like seeing the different materials that you can use is really fun. And you can obviously have some nice drums, but you can also just do it with two sticks or two
Yeah,
rocks or, yeah. So it
totally.
just makes it kind of a low entry point for a lot of folks. So.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
It
by
was
chance have any like good resources or like websites or anything that you would recommend for people that like want to hear a drum circle or
There are some YouTube videos. I'm trying to remember Arthur Hull,
okay.
Arthur, and his last name is Hull. He um, he has some really decent videos about how to do a drum circle, and oftentimes whenever you do a drum circle, like just like a jam sort of a thing, there are ways to bring out different dynamics. So you get people's attention and you say, look at me, or you give them the signal to look at me, and then you can split different sections of the circle and say, okay, you guys watch me and everybody else keep on going, keep on going. And then you can cut certain people so they can hear the sound of other people. And I just think that that's such a lesson right there. It's so
Yeah.
important to listen to each other.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I don't have all the answers. I need help. I love the brainstorms. I love the ideas that other people have that I didn't have. And I'm like, oh, wow, I could do this with that idea. I didn't think about that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arthur Hall's really good to see how a drum circle sort of can be. I don't really know. I don't really
Yeah.
know other people who use it for environmental education. yet. I mean,
Yeah, do you have any like upcoming events that folks might be able to attend that you're leading or that you have in the community?
yeah. So I at Fox Island, I always do a drum circle on the full moon. Sorry, I didn't bring this up earlier. I'm just looking
That's
at the
okay.
calendar. But um, every full moon and the next, oh, that's not the right, sorry. The next full moon is um, going to be, I think it's December 4th. December 4th. I will double check really quick. It's coming up. And if you go on to allencountyparks.org and click on the programs and then scroll down to the calendar, um, the next one, yes, is December 4th. And the full moon drum circle is a full cold moon and it's at 6 p.m. And I always do a little bit of education about the full moon, or if there are meteor showers that are happening or other planets that are in the sky, or just like how the moon got those names. There are lots of names for each of the full moons. So that's going to be coming up, and it's followed by a full moon hike if you're interested in that. Um, and then I've been doing it for different libraries, and I've done it at the Marion Library and the Huntington Library, and I'm going to start doing it at some of the Allen County libraries as well,
Okay.
hopefully. So yeah,
Yeah, and I'll also include your contact information in our follow-up, so if folks have additional questions, they can reach out to you as well. So,
yeah. And if you wanted me to come lead a drum circle, um, I do have a fee typically, but we can talk it through and I can be flexible a bit. If it's a far distance, I might not be able to.
yeah,
It just kind of helps. But um, if there's a topic, I do a lot of work in preparing so that it's relevant and so that it's smooth. And yeah, it could be a fun review for the students that you're working with, or an introduction, or just
yeah.
a fun activity in the middle. So,
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Eva, for joining us. And before we sign off, I just have a final few announcements kind of on our end of things. So, the first announcement is this is sadly our last Echo Network meeting that we will be hosting for now, is what I keep saying, for now. Our Google group with the Echo Network will remain open for now. We just are hoping that folks will continue to use that great resource, ask questions, ask for tips and tricks, that sort of thing as well. And then I also want to mention that Mary Lee, in collaboration with Joe Pounds again this year, will be hosting what we call our OWL workshop, and that stands for Outdoor Wilderness Learning for Educators. And I will be sending out a flyer in the follow-up email with this. I know last year we had Eva come and do a drum circle with adults, and we just had a wonderful time with that. Unfortunately, we won't have her back this year, but we have a lot of other fun activities that will include 3 different site visits in the community. We're going to do a panel this year with parents, with their students that have been through some of these programs to be able to ask them some great questions. And that will all be here at Mary Lee. And the dates for that is February 27th, or excuse me, February 25th through the 27th. And so we'll be sending out some more information about that. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. So with that, Eva, I think we both need to go outside and enjoy the beautiful snowfall while we can. It looks like we have some more coming in as well. So you enjoy your evening and we'll talk to you soon.
thank you.
Thank you.